Hello everybody, welcome to our YouTube channel. So guys, today's videos we are going to see on Angular, about Angular, what all our prerequisite things are required to start your development in Angular. And before starting any development, let's see what all our competitor with Angular. So basically guys, Angular is a single page web applications, and same there is a React and Vue.js. But when you will compare between these Angular, Vue and React, so every technology or framework or library has their own advantage. We will see those all comparison in our coming slide. But before that, let's go ahead and see what is Angular and what all are different components which is required to develop an Angular application. So before starting our development, let's try to understand about theory of Angular. So guys, Angular is basically a Google product, and this is complete framework, right? In comparison to React.js and Vue.js, since React.js and Vue.js both are a library, and library itself is not a framework, complete framework. They required third-party additional library to inject in there to complete their entire project. But Angular has a complete framework, and it don't require a third-party library to develop a single page application with Angular. So guys, here you can see what we are going to see in this video. You can see there are 12 modules, and this is for beginner, who a person who just started learning of Angular. This video is very helpful for those guys, along with the guys who already have experience but they never came, they never in touch with Angular. So this is also going to help them better. So guys, first point you can see Angular intro and setup. So it is going to take at least 1 hour. I'm telling it's complete of development to production deployment. It is going to take couple of hours and it will be ready to deploy. But the point here you can see Angular intro and setup. It is just mentioned 1 hour, but it is going to take less than that. Even 10 to 15 minutes, you can get set up your Angular and you can start developing your applications. Right. So I will show you how you can do the setup and how you can create Angular project and how you can create a build of Angular project and what all are components which automatically got created once you created your Angular project, and what is use of those files and folders. I will explain you in details, guys. So let's continue on next point. The point is TypeScript for Angular. So basically, guys, TypeScript for Angular is part of your Angular applications. And basically, Angular has three files when you are creating, or in other way we can say when we are creating Angulars, and when we are creating a component has three files. First one is TS files, the second one is HTML file, and third one is .css or .scss file. So these three files get automatically created. Along with this, there is a one uh, more file got created which is used for testing purpose, but not right now. We need to mention that file name here. That's we'll see when we will do unit testing or any other way we are going to test. So we will see that. Okay. So now third point you can see component and templates and service directory and pipes, service and dependency injections. So guys, if you will, I will explain it in details. Yes, it is going to take time because of each topic has almost 1 hour, 2 hours. As you can see, and the screen and the if you can see my pointer to do the Angular setup and introductions, it is going to take 1 hour. To understand the component and template, it is going to take 2 hours along with creation of component and then use of component templates, how they are correlating to each other, what all our file are required, where we need to register our component to make it available, to get it labels and Angular project will get understand like some component has been introduced and going to be used by Angular. And you can see there is services and dependency injections. Basically, guys, this is again service related files we need to create and we need to inject the information from any of service using this HTTP client and API. So HTTP client basically guys are used to consume our REST API. And REST API is something which is external, which is exported by third party or any of third party technology like Java, like Spring Boot, like .NET, like PHP, and Angular is consuming that API using HTTP client. RxJS and observables. So basically, guys, this is very important. RxJS, this is part of your Angular, and uh, this is advanced topic of your Angular. Whenever you are learning of Angular, you must learn about RxJS and observables. So basically, RxJS and observables we use in our application to maintain the state, to manage the data, to pass the data from one page to another page. For example, if we are using RxJS, among RxJS, there is one topic that is called subject behavior. There is one topic called subject, another one is subject behavior. So when suppose we want to hold some information and want to pass one component to other component, we can subscribe, we can use subject behaviors and store information there, and we can subscribe those information from any of the pages or any of the components. So basically that is very important, guys. And then you can see Angular routing. Again, Angular routing is something when we are developing any applications, definitely we need to create multiple pages, right? When we are clicking any of the page icons or page names, it should switch from one page to another page. For example, if you are on home page and you want to go on service page, so definitely you have to click somewhere on the top header or left menu to route it on that. So to go on other one page to another page, we need to use the concept of routing. Now reactive form guys, again it is important and very useful for validation purpose and even for setting and getting information on the HTMLs without writing any separate function for this. You have to define this one and you can use that object and the HTML to retrieve and to say persist it. And auth, guard and interceptors. This is very important, guys. Again, it is going to take 2 hours, but yes, auth, guard and interceptor. So guys, interceptor, if you are a Java guys or any experienced guys who know the purpose of interceptor, here the concept of interceptor is same like the one we are using some other technology, right? So basically interceptor, using interceptor we can we can capture any request, any response and modify that request and response and post back to the browser, and browser is going to pass it to the end user based on the need of users, right? So basically interceptor used to intercept the request that is coming from the end users and modify it, and then again it pass to the next level. And same thing when API is returning some data and we feel like no, we don't need to pass or return entire data, we need to limit some data. So before responding that information, interceptor is going to modify those response and again going back to the users. Auth guard. Auth guard is again a very important one, and auth guard where you can write your logic whether user is authenticated or not. If it is authenticated, then it is going to allow you to go on the content pages. Otherwise, AuthGuard will you redirect back to the new login screen. So how you can use AuthGuard, where what all the configuration are there, we will see when we will develop a custom application in Angular. Now, what is Angular? See here, simple and very straightforward definition about the Angular. Angular is like a pre-built factory for building website, right? Instead of crafting every machines, okay, yourself, Angular give you a ready mode tools. Just you can plug together and your app is up and running. So here you can see, and as I said, like Angular is a framework. It's not a library. Angular is a complete opinionated framework. It gives structures, tools, rules, compare to React. React.js is a just UI, and Angular is a full stack front end, right? And built with TypeScript. Angular basically built on top of TypeScript. And TypeScript is a similar kinds of syntax you can write if you guys are aware about how a Java work, what are method are there, what are the classes, what is the enums. If you guys are aware about Java concept, definitely you can grasp it very quickly because Angular is work with the concept of object, the concept of classes, and same like the Java work. Okay, the component based every UI piece, button, neighbor, form is a reusable component which is built once and you can utilize anywhere, right? So basically, once you created component, then that component you can utilize any of the places. It's depend like what is needed. So two-way data binding, that is very important point, a part of your Angular. So what is two-way data binding? So let's suppose you have typed something in a text box on the UI, and same times you want to see the response on the down of the what you are typing. If you are typing XYZ, it is not valid email. So downside it will say your email is not valid. Even if you are typing and same thing you want to show below of that text box, then that the concept that you have to use, that is two-way data binding. Right? So basically two-way data binding which communicate between TypeScript to HTML without any event. Just you can type and you will see the output on the same page. Now guys, as I said, like we will see the comparison between Angular, React and Vue. In this topics you can see features like language it used Angular, right? Use TypeScript, and React uses JS, TSX, and Vue.js uses JS, right? And type, it is full framework, and React.js you can see it is UI library, and Vue a progressive FW, right? And learning curve steeper but complete, a little bit complex, but it is complete framework, so maybe you may take some time to learn it. It is medium and this is easy. Vue.js is very easy. Now CLI, Angular CLI basically used, and in React.js create React app and Vue CLI is used. Two-way bindings built in here manual use state. There is no two-way binding concept in the React.js. That's what it is mentioned. Manual use state. V model. This is another one. Enterprise uses very high. The Angular application basically a person who is developing enterprise application, this Angular is used too much rather than React.js and Vue.js. Right? That's what, and maintained by Google's, maintained by React is maintained by Meta, and Vue is maintained by communities. Best for large enterprise app. As I said, if you are developing a large enterprise applications and you know that must be scalable and features, you must go with Angular. And React is like dynamic UI, and Vue is a quick prototyping. So in a couple of sessions, in the coming session, maybe I will show you how you can configure React with Keycloak. That will be enterprise levels applications, which is currently people are using in the market. And most of the seniors who are not completely aware, either Angular or Keycloak, and they are not sure how it can be done. Some of my friends also don't know about this. They are coming to me to help them to resolve their issues or to configure Angular with Keycloak and Keycloak with their application. So that is all about how you can do the configuration. What is the differences between Angular, React, and Vue, right? Now the point is, guys, how you can do a setup, right? So first things you have to check Java version, Node versions. To check the Node versions, let me show you a live demo one, how you can create. Okay. Now, now you can see it will come here, and if you want to create any app, you can create like my app or anything. So here you can see I have given, first you have to check the version, node hyphen version, right? So first you check if it is not installed, you have to go and install. So first let's check whether node is installed or not. So to check the node, you have version, you have to type node hyphen version. See, the node 22 is installed in my laptop. Second one is we need to check whether CLI is installed or not. Or if it is already installed, you can see you have to run this command to install globally, right? Before running this command, let me run this command and see if CLI is already installed, then third command is going to work. So what is third command? It is going to create new Angular app. So how it is going to create? Let me come to here and G new and today demo. Okay, enter. So see, it seems Angular CLI is already installed. That's why it haven't thrown me any exceptions and is started to creating a Angular application. So now it is saying like whether you want to continue or not. Yes, I want to continue. And would like to add Angular as a routing. Yes, I want to add a routings. Now it is giving us option which one technology or which one CSS you want to use, whether you want to configure CSS or SCSS or SAS, less, stylus. So I'm going to select SAS, SCSS. Enter it. Once we enter it, it is going to install and create your project. And where it is going to create your project, it is going to create your project, the locations we have run our applications. So here you can see something got failed. Why? Because of some dependency cannot resolve today this. Some dependencies are have issue. But yes, I will show you where it got created. It should go and create in this location, Angular video sessions. So let me go on Angular video sessions and see if it got created or not. See, this project has been created here, you can see. And now how you can use this one, how you can see what is architecture. Let me explain you in details how. Let me open in a GUI mode and some of my Visual Studio code. Okay, so this is a project that just we have created, and you can see today's demo, and in this you can see that lots of file got created along with SRC. In the SRC folder, you can see there is some out of box file has been created, right? Since when we have run our command, it asks whether you want to add routing or not. We say yes. That's why if-routing.module has been added in the project. And this is default one project files. When you click on here, you can see it will say something, right? Now, the point is, what is use of this file? So basically, these all are root file. Okay, and see here guys, there is a lots of issues here. Why this issue is? Because we haven't installed its dependency. To install its dependency, what we need to do, we need to open a terminal like this, and you have to type here npmi. Once you click on this, it is going to create node_modules folders and going to create or going to download all dependency which is required. Okay, so now let me show you why this issue is happening, because there is some deprecations of the version which we have selected. That's why it is giving some error. So how we can resolve this issue, right? So to resolve this issue, let me little down see. Now what you can do, again you can type same command, but you have to use legacy pair diffs, because the version that we are using that has some features been deprecated. So because of that, we have to use this command. Now guys, it is going to create a node_modules folders which have a lot of dependencies will be available, and all your issue that you can see here will get resolved because of once it is downloaded. Let's wait for a couple of seconds to download it. Once it is downloaded, I will start it and will show you your Angular applications. So basically guys, to run your to create your applications on Angular, you need to do the setup first. How you can do the setup? For that, you need to install Node.js, to install Angular CLI as a globally, and you need to install Visual Studio Code. Okay, once it is installed, then you can run it and you will see your application will be up and running. And guys, by default, your application will start on localhost 4200. Now guys, you can see node_modules file downloaded. See, lots of dependencies are here, which is being downloaded through the command which we have run in a few seconds back, which is we have run this one, right? So basically npmi we used to run to install all those dependency. But now the point is how Angular know which one dependency it should install. To see that, when you're creating applications, you will see one file that is called package.json. This is the dependencies file where you have defined. So these all dependencies are, which is this command is downloading under the node_modules folder. So if what dependency you will define, and once you will define, you will run npmi, it is going to download that dependency under node_modules folder. So basically node_modules folder is a dependencies folder which have all details related to dependencies which is required to use by your Angular app. Okay. Now once it got finished, we'll show you by running these applications. Let's wait a couple of seconds more. It is still going on. So as this is just a first video of Angular that how you can do the setup, how you can create our custom applications using Angular, and what all are required files which get automatically generated, and what is purpose of those files. So until it is starting downloading, let me explain you these file purpose. So basically this file basically used for routing purpose, right? Like to go on one page to another page from the top header. Let's suppose you are on home and you want to move on service, you want to move on about us, you want to move on contact us, you need to click on there. To do that one, what you need to do, you have to create routing file, and the routing file you have to tell which one file you are going to route on clicking on that. So this is the purpose for that. And basically guys, app component TLS, this is default file which is created by library, and it is used to render your view. You will see here. Yeah. Here you can see router.outlet. This is the main point, the main entry which is required to render any component which is under your web application. I mean, this under your app folder. Since for now there is not a single component got created, only one uh, Angular app we have created and which have default files. So this all is going to display in front of users because till now we haven't created any custom portlet. Custom component. And this is guys again, this is the file where you can define your .css file, and you can override, or you can make look and feel better for your application. This is a CSS file, and here you can define your CSS related property. And this is Angular HTML file, app.component HTML file. Again, this file is useful to design your view. Like if you want to design grid, you want to design drop down, you want to design any text boxes, buttons. So this is the file where you can go and design. But this is root file. If you have a numbers of component, you don't need to design everything here. You need to design your module wise applications. Like if you are designing one component which is about us, right? So about us you have to create one component that is ng-gc about us. That is going to create one component which will have three files, which will be these three files will have one .html, one .css, and one .ts file. And those files you have to design for that about us modules. But when application will run, that module will be understood by your Angular applications, like something is there which we need to show, and how it know that. So basically, when you are creating component, external component or additional component, those entry is going to persist inside app.modules folder here by default. If it is not available here, then your Angular is not going to recognize whether your component which you have created for about us is need to run or not. We need to show on the UI or not, right? So that's what once we are creating any component, you have to enter those entry in the app component app.modules folder. The app component, this is again a kind of controller which is completely tightly coupled with app component.html. And here you can see this is the selectors, this is the template URLs, and this is the styles. App root URLs, if you want to access this component in any other component, you can use this selector by starting less than, greater than curly braces and paste it there and close it. So then your entire Angular application is going to route there. And template URL, this is nothing, just like the HTML which is being created during the application creation. See? And again, CSS is here. So you can define multiple CSS. As you can see, it is in array format. So you can see multiple file. You can give multiple file. Depend on it. Now assets folder. This folder basically used to store our images, our CSS files, our some static information which is required to access by application itself. Those all information we need to keep inside here. And environment.ts file, this is again nothing, just like where you can go and define your service endpoint, or we can say common information which is going to use by any of the component. So in our case, since we are going to consume any API which is developed in Spring Boot, .NET, PHP, that we are going to consume. So in environment.ts file, we are going to define endpoint for that service. And in the other services, we will call this environment.ts file and we'll consume. We will invoke this endpoint with some method and we'll call using HTTP client and we'll get the service response once we got it. And this is for development and this is for production when you are developing deploying on production. Favicon icon is something when you will run application, this is going to show on the top of your browser. Index.html is again important one. Here you can see, as I said, like app root, this is selector of your app component.tsc. This one is now inherited in the index.html. If you will comment this one, if you comment this one, then your Angular application is not going to load. Nothing will be loaded. Only it will show title demo and nothing middle part is going to use or load. Main.ts again, this is, you can see, this is loading our core file like this in app module. This is again core file, environment.ts file. This is again core file, right? So these are loaded by this. SCSS, style.css, this is common one file where you can define the CSS which will be applicable for any of your component you have designed. So in coming videos, we will see by creating different component and then we will see how we can utilize SCSS file in those components. Angular.js, this is again out of box file generated by Angular itself. When we run the command, and you can see here some information you can add here. You can see style.css file is loading here. So some information which you think like you need to load for your application, you can define here. Even if you want to inject some JavaScript file related things, you can pass in this array by this way, right? And karma.config file, basically we use this file to do the unit testing. Package.log.json, this is again a replica of your package.json. All dependency you have defined in package.json. When you will run npm I, it is going to create automatically package-log.json, which will keep tracking what versions of dependency you have defined here, and that will be here in the package.json. Let's suppose in futures you are changing any dependency in the package.json, that is not going to reflect until you have to delete package.log.json again and run npm I. Then it will again create a new package.json file and it is going to download. It is going to create, append all dependency in the package.log.json file, right? And ts.config file, see, this is again important file for this file is going to load our main.tss file, right? Which is again, and this main.tss file is loading our core component. So basically this is complete architectures of your Angular applications, how they are constructed to each other and how they are utilizing internal components. So guys, as you can see, all dependency got started. So now let me start our Angular application. So how to start Angular application? You can type ng start. Either you can use this command or you can use npm run start. So using both commands you can run and you will be able to start your application. So let's wait for a few minutes or few seconds to start our Angular application. Once Angular started properly, we will see on the browsers on port localhost 4200. So let's wait few seconds to start it. Okay, so let it start, and until it is starting, let's come to our point where we were. So here we have seen this one. We have already it is installed in my applications. You can see, and that's why when we run ng new my app, this is the command to create a new project of Angular, right? And cd my -app, which is going to inside your, and how you can start. See, this command we have run there to start it. Once it is started, how we can access? We can access using HTTP localhost 4200 on this. And this is project structures, right? The one that I have explored in the Visual Studio editor, right? And here you can see Angular.json build config, package.json dependencies, tsconfig type script setting. So these file, this is basically a key point which is required before starting or creating your Angular application. You have to install Node.js, you have to install npm install -g Angular CLI, and then you can go and create project, and then you can select the options which is given by Angular, and you can continue. Let's see if our application got started or not. It is still in progress. It is taking some time. See, ng sir, it is taking some time. So let me run some other command. npm run start. Let's see, because that was taking time, so that's what I just using another one command. It is going on ng-sir and trying to start it. Okay, so until it is starting, let's come back again in our slides, and right side you can see project architectures. And the project architecture you can see my app, then src. Under the src there is a app folder, and under the app folder there is a core file which is auto created by Angular itself. And assets folder, as I said, it holds a static content resources, index.html file which is used to load your application app component, and this index.html is configured with, there is a main.ts file which is consuming some environment related, and some other file which is loading from there. And finally, our application is going to start. Now coming to the next point, now here you can see TypeScript. This is again essential for the Angular, but guys, we will see it in a next video, because Angular TypeScript itself is a very huge and broad. Writing only few lines is not good things for now to do, but yes, we can do it in a next session. So let's see if our Angular got started or not. Now you can see guys, there is some issue which is raising here API deprecations for this. Okay, so there is some issue while we are starting it. That is an issue related to generate browser application bundles. Note this deprecation warning: until this API deprecated, please use node-trace to show where warning was created. Right. So basically, this issue is showing like. Okay, so for this, what we can do, we can stop first. Okay, and we can resolve it first. What is issue? Actual issue is happen here. So the main issue is generating browser application bundle. Oh, it is trying to generate a bundles, and somehow it is got failed because bundle is not generating. And problem is mismatch of Angular version that we have installed. Right? They see ESM 256. It is saying platform ESM 256. Okay, so how we can resolve it, which is again important file, important things why this issue has happened, right? So let's see how we can resolve it. To resolve this one, we need to debug by restarting. Okay. So as I said, like the problem here is when we are running older version of Node.js. That's the reason this issue is happening, right? So yes, because as we see, right, Node.js plus older Angular, right, which is workspace, sorry, webpack capabilities. Because of that, you can see the error saying error 030801006 digital envelope, right? So if you will see, so basically what we need to do here, we have to install lower version of Node.js and then again we can try it. So let me install lower version first. How we can install lower versions? Let me show you. First, we have to remove our node modules.js. Okay. Just give me a few seconds. Yeah. So first we need to stop it and we need to remove our node modules. Okay. This should remove it. If it is not removing, that's okay. Let me delete from here. Okay. So it is deleting. Second thing, what we can do, we have to remove package log.json, which is this one, not this, package log.json, which is this. As I said, like when we are changing a dependency or versions, we have to delete package log.json. If it is not one, then your changes is not going to reflect. Now further, what we can do, we have to run npm cache clean, right? Npm, let me type here. Let me minimize little, then you can see npm cache, and then we can say clean and hyphen force. Okay. So once you run it, it is going to delete a cache. Once cache got deleted, again we will run npm I and yeah, it got removed, right? Once it got removed, what we need to do next? We have to reinstall it by npm install. Then we have to use hyphen legacy. Last time you can see, okay, legacy hyphen ps and then hyphen dips. When you will run it, it is again going to download your bundles, node modules, which will have all dependency. And then again we will try to start. And this should start. Because this is issue with versions. As you can see, GES 2015. This is the issue there. So guys, this is this is done, then we will start and we'll see if it is working or not. So in this video, we had seen the setup of Angulars, installations of Angulars, purpose of Angulars, what is the differences between Angular, React and Vue, and what all are different commands is required to create Angular applications, and how we can start Angular. If any issue we are facing, then how we can handle that issue again. Okay, guys. So let's see, it is starting. Once it is started, I will start again, and let's see if it is starting on. And if still issue is there, we will fix in another way. But yes, guys, we are almost done with this sessions, and rest of the things we will see next video. Next video, I will show you again if any issue is coming, then I will show you again how you can handle that issue and how you can start your Angular applications. For now, let's wait for a couple of seconds to make it download and start. Okay. So still it is downloading. Let's see, because this is version problem, nothing more than version. So that's why when we are working on Angular project, make sure if you are using Angular 15 or 16 or 17, we should use lower version of Node.js, right? In my case, there's a Node.js 22 is installed. That's why this issue is happening, right? So we'll take care of this in next video sessions where we will do where we will do a setup from scratch, and we will start a learning of Angular by creating component, then other concept of Angular, which is again good things for your learning purpose, and you can utilize this concept with your current organizations, and you will get benefit for this video. So guys, it is still starting, so it is going to take some time. So let's meet our next video. We will start from here by this screen from next video, and we'll show you a resolution of this, and we'll continue. Until that, you guys can go through over this video and try to know the concept, try to learn the concept. Until that time, bye bye, and let's meet next week. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time.